Hi everybody and welcome to Rose Sky Tarot. This reading is for Taurus for the 14th of January 2019 and it's a general reading, so may not suit everyone, but hopefully there's a message here just for you. So enjoy. Okay then, let's have a look at these cards here. Now we have the Hermit, the Eight of Cups in reverse and the Six of Swords in reverse. Now, do you feel that you need some time away, some time out? Time where you're on your own, just to give yourself a little bit of freedom to think. Think about what you need and what you want, and give yourself a little bit of privacy. And even ask for advice about certain things. But the importance of the Hermit card is that you walk your own path. You get to know your own mind. And regardless of what other people are doing round about you, if they tag along with you, then that is up to them. But you walk your own path and you live your own life. And you take the time away from everybody else to actually figure that out. Figure out what it is that you need and what you want. Because in moving on to the Eight of Cups, accepting second best isn't really what you want to do. And that would just be settling, wouldn't it? And that would be such an empty existence. Where would the love be if you didn't live the way your heart wanted to live? And that would be something that, would keep you stuck in a situation that wasn't the best for you. So this time for contemplation about what it is that you need could result in you leaving that situation. Because it is only going to get worse. Being stuck in a situation that's not the best for you is only going to go one way. Let's move these cards over and we'll start the main reading. Now we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Tower card and Death card. Now there's a brand new path here, a brand new way of life, one that is offering lots of different opportunities to gather resources, whether it be money, property, it could be the path to freedom. It could be, health. It could be so many different things. But this is an abundant life. This is a happy life, one filled with pleasure and comfort. But to make room for that, the life that you had before had to leave. And that's what the next card is about. The Tower card is about the destruction of the past life. And it's been a sudden change. It's been something that's happened very quickly. And it's caused a lot of stress, a lot of strain, a lot of arguments, and chaos has ensued. But it has gave you a release because the walls are no longer there. The things that were tying you to this past life are no longer there because this sudden change has knocked that past life away. And it's let your eyes open to the possibilities of what the future will bring. And the death card, which is the next card, supports that ending and the new beginning of the new life. And this is a time where you make the transition from this old life to the new one. And that could take time because, the Tower card was a very quick change. And there is, such great prosperity in the future. But it could take a little bit of time for you to transition from the one life to the next. And it could mean that you totally leave that circle of friends or the people that were a mainstay in your life for such a long time. So there is huge, major changes happening. Now let's move on to the next three cards, and we have the Four of Pentacles, we have the Hierophant, and we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Now, are you very possessive of this new life? You're guarding it as if, there's no tomorrow. Because all of these new things that you've brought in are extremely precious to you. You don't want to lose them. Now, why are you being so guarded with them? Are you maybe feeling that there's pressure there? And looking at the next card, we have the Hierophant. Is there maybe pressure to conform to a life that other people want you to live? Do they expect you to live the life that your family have lived? That, this new life may not be something that they want to see because you're part of the group, you're not an individual. And it could be that is also linked to the wider family as well as your immediate family, such as your partner or your children or your father and mother. Because your immediate family, is that one of the things that you're being asked to conform with? Because with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it's not really a happy home. There's a lot of squabbling, there's a lot of domestic problems. And because this home is with the Pentacles group, there could be a lot of pressure to be affluent and, to show that affluence so that you're in the same level as everyone round about you or family members or, whoever. I think that the phrase is keeping up with the Joneses. But that's a false existence for you. Is that the part of the walls that were keeping you within? That everyone around you was telling you to conform? That's how life is? How do you expect, to be married long term and be totally happy all of the time? Of course not. That's, everyone has arguments. But instead of being extremely unhappy, there is a difference between that and having arguments. Now let's move down to the next set of cards, and we have the Empress, the Four of Swords in reverse, and the Two of Swords. Now, realising the difference between, having arguments and tiffs as normal people, normal families do, there is a huge difference between a deep-seated unhappiness in that setting just because you're being told to conform to that life. And moving down to the Empress card, are you maybe wanting something different? Are you maybe looking for a natural love? Something that stands with this new lifestyle that you're going to live? One of health, wealth, abundance. One of sexuality and love and possibly even motherhood. Is there a path that you see yourself having a child? Or a family with someone? And, this is what would make you feel happy and comfortable. Not a false impression of it, but the real thing. And after all of the changes and transformations that you've made and all of the defences that you've had to put in place, are you maybe exhausted? You've had so many things on your mind, so many worries, so many anxieties, and you just need the rest. You need to just lie down and let all of those worries disappear and contemplate what your next step is. And this is something that you'll be able to do now that all of these worries have moved away from you. And it gives you the opportunity, in moving on to the Two of Swords, to help you make decisions. Now, it's not as easy as that, nothing ever is. Because with all the transitions that you're making, there's so many different paths that you could go down. Do you go down a path where your head is telling you this is the best move? Or do you go down the path where, your heart is the one that's being fulfilled? But the thing is that things have happened so quickly and you've not really had a huge amount of time to, rest from all of this stress before you've had to make the decision. And you just don't know. You don't know which path to choose. So it could be that using your instincts to lead you at this time is something that, may be part of the new way of life until you get to know better what plan it is that you want to bring into your life, which lifestyle you want to lead. And in moving on to the next set of cards, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Now, you're very defensive of what these decisions are. And it could be that, the people that are asking you to conform and follow the traditions of the family is something that you see as being criticism. Because you're finally knowing your own mind. You're finally trying to make decisions about, where you want to go. And it's being criticised and knocked. So it could be that you really do become very defensive, and in these people's eyes, that you're looking for a fight. You're going out your way to cause trouble. And, you really don't want the drama of all these accusations and criticisms. You refuse to let this new dream, this new way of life, you refuse to let it go. Because if you were to return to this past life, that would be the worst thing for you, because it would take all of the life out of you. Because life would become so tedious and boring, and you would just be doing things because you had to, but your heart, your energy, your interest and creativity would not be in it. Because that's not what you want. Okay, I'm going to bring these other cards back. And we have the Hermit card, the Eight of Cups in reverse, and the Six of Swords in reverse. Now, taking time away from everyone around you, stopping all everyone else's points of view and thoughts to give you silence so that you can look inside to find out what you want. And regardless of how much other people want to influence you, how you live your life is your decision. And those people can come along for the ride if they want, but ultimately you don't need them. You may like them to be there, but not at the expense of your decision-making freedom. Because not having the freedom to make choices is something that you wouldn't be able to live with. It's something that you would want to run away from. And, if you stayed with that situation, if you listened to the people that were criticising you and trying to influence you, the situation you were in would only be getting worse. And you really would be stuck. So I think that the message here from this reading is to take time for yourself and to look at what you really want. Listen to how you really feel about things and try to plan for the things that you need. Because people can want so many things, but what you really need is what brings you happiness and contentment. Okay, now as always, this is a general reading, and my ethos is to highlight the link between the cards here, and that hopefully will give you an opportunity to think about the questions that have brought you to this reading. And from then, you can think about how you progress from here. Because in the end, those decisions are always yours. Now, hopefully, there is at least one or two cards here that would answer a question for you. And, I'm hoping that my interpretation of the cards has been helpful. And I hope to see you next week. Have a good week. Bye.